Welcome back to episode 3, Scams of Alex Reinhardt. Now, previously we talked about how PlatinCoin started, how it was promoted, who promoted it. In this episode, we are going to look at a particular individual called Dirk Fricke.
Die Ökonomie, die wir hier aufbauen, sorgt dafür, dass unser eigener Coin sehr stabil wird, einen guten Kurs erreicht. Und das geht nur mit einer riesen Community.
At the moment of PlatinCoin launch, Dirk felt a little reserved and less verbal. It was so hard to hear from him. Very hard, and it would take days for him to even respond to a Facebook inbox. It was assumed that he was a very busy man and very responsible. That's the feeling investors were getting back then. And it felt like he had less time for social chatting and activity. It's also believed that maybe Heiko Barike was under Dirk Fricke and they both owned Coinsnews.de website, which is a platform that onboarded a lot of PlatinCoin investors in 2017 when PlatinCoin website was not launched yet. As I go further into this documentary investigation, I will list many PlatinCoin top leaders and their roles they played in PlatinCoin promotion. Previously, why I did talk about Dirk felt to be so close to the CEO. And I talked about Dirk because it was a feeling that he was so close to the CEO. Yes, before official launch of PlatinCoin, the CEO, Alex Reinhardt, wasn't accessible at all, and only people close to him knew him. He wasn't known by anyone, not until the right time when PlatinCoin as a product was officially launched. But all the times of Coinsnews website, the onboarding of investors, Alex Reinhardt was nowhere to be seen, and nobody knew a product, a platform that was coming through Coinsnews marketing agency. Information was passed on according to leadership and closeness to people like Heiko Barike, Dirk Fricke, and another man called Elias Page. For example, I will refer to a certain scenario. On 2nd June 2017, a promoter called Anthony Adonis Naragile posted in Daily Crypto News Facebook page, and he was reporting to the community an update that had happened a day ago, where Dirk and colleagues had a leadership call with the CEO of PlatinCoin, Alex Reinhardt, and discussed several things, where he told them about a decision to take down all photos and videos on YouTube that were uploaded before 9th April 2017. He said that these were not complying with the company regulations and new rules, and that such material was made out of ignorance. So all photos, all videos, all articles that were put up before 9th April were actually put down. That was an update that one of the top leaders wrote. The company had organized its own marketing materials, and it was to distribute it to all promoters of PlatinCoin for use. Dirk said that some wordings were to change so they could kick many competitors on the feet. PlatinCoin was then launching a new website and back office with facts and company guidelines to prohibit the publication of unauthorized presentation materials. Among the wordings that were to change were that PlatinCoin doesn't sell coins, but it sells training content and technological solutions. Now, if you've been following me, you will realize that I'm a victim of OneCoin crypto fraud, and it was also selling educational content, not coins. And they said coins were just a surplus, were just a, by the way, an additional value for purchasing crypto education and also training content. So PlatinCoin had also copied that idea, and that's what it was promoting after its initial launch. Dirk also reported that they were changing words that were previously used in the marketing, that PLC is covered. He was changing all this statement. PLC is covered by assets. But rather, he said that people should say PlatinCoin is a crypto system, PLC Group AG, and will make every effort to ensure that the company will strengthen and popularize resources and assets, revenues from PLC network, revenues from PLC business, revenues from PLC academy, revenues from PLC market team, and all the activities. So basically they were saying that PlatinCoin is not covered by assets. So all the being covered by gold, being covered by US dollar, being covered by physical and real gold, it was all a mistake. And that they would only strengthen and popularize resources and assets and revenues from the PLC network, revenues from the business, revenues from the academy, revenues from the market, and the works from the team and all their activities. Now, another wording that was changed was that there is no guaranteed return costs, that there were no guaranteed return costs, but rather there is a return to the PLC costs. That there is no a guaranteed return cost, but there is a return to the PLC costs. This update was posted by one of the top leaders on 2nd June 2017, and the launch was going to start.
Neuen Office hier, PlatinCoin und Platin Hero in Dubai. Wir haben hier 1000 Quadratmeter und es nimmt kein Ende. Das Ganze ist noch ausbaufähig, absoluter Hammer. Wir haben coole Büros, wir haben Schulungsräume, wir haben einen absolut coolen Empfang hier und schaut euch das an. Wir haben natürlich, weil wir Partner auf der ganzen Welt haben, die Weltzeituhren und jetzt kommen gerade die ganzen Partner aus Afrika.
That is Dirk Fricke for you, and how the PlatinCoin community in 2017 presumed that he had powers. He was so close, the closest to the CEO, and he had thousands and thousands and thousands of people under his team. And it is also thought, it is also a rumor, it is also assumed that maybe he was the guy behind Coinsnews.d, which was, of course, directly owned by Heiko Barike. But then Dirk Fricke could have been the top leader of that, because it seemed like Heiko Barike himself was under Dirk Fricke, and he was getting instructions, he was being supported, directly supported by Dirk Fricke, because it sounded like Heiko himself gets directions from Dirk Fricke. And definitely, Dirk Fricke was getting direct updates, direct physical contact, direct meetings with Alex Reinhardt and the CM or head of marketing and the administration team. So it is assumed that Dirk Fricke might have benefited hugely than even Heiko Barike, because Dirk Fricke was the closest man of Alex Reinhardt. I'm saying all this information because we all know PlatinCoin is a crypto scam that has scammed people over the years, transitioning from one scam to another, and hence creating so many victims in every venture they ventured into. This information that I'm sharing can be used by authorities, media companies, podcasts, news outlets, different articles, different televisions, different documentaries, because it is legit, because I was there when everything was happening. Because I was there when everything was happening in regards to PlatinCoin cryptocurrency or fraud. In the next episode, I'm going to tell you how PlatinCoin was launched, issues that happened, and how it all went until this Ponzi scheme collapsed. My name is Daniel, and if you love this podcast, share it to your friend, because it is worth to be exposed to everyone. Everybody must know what happened to thousands and thousands of people that lost their money into this cryptocurrency Ponzi scheme and enriching a few MLM Ponzi mafias. Alex Reinhardt has kept on scamming people from 2016 up to right now in 2024. Almost we are getting into 2025 when I'm recording this podcast. Bye for now. Let me see you soon.